In this devlog, we're going to be working on PvP, and we're also going to be adding a new set of gnomes to play with. If you didn't watch my last video, which you totally should, I'm developing a video game. One that might redefine the genre. Well, maybe not that, but it will be a fun little game. Basically, the game is about time-traveling cavemen running from really, really angry gnomes. And last video, we were just basically doing all the base functionality and idea work for the game. Back to telling you what I've added. Now, I was recently at an ICT course where we were learning 3D modeling, and I decided to model an axe for the game. Well, we've got an axe, but what do we use it for? Well, what do you usually use an axe for? Yeah, chopping trees down, chopping the trees. So I made some animations for it that basically just show Grog swinging the axe around. His arm comes up to the right, then down to the left, and then he swings with the full force of a funny looking bean from the prehistoric times, alright? There's a lot of force there, alright? This axe takes one swing to fell a tree, and once it's down, you get 20 wood. I made a bunch of new gnomes for the players to be tormented by. Let me introduce them to you. First and fastest is the speed gnome. This yellow speed demon goes fast as hell and will catch up to Grog even if he is sprinting. Though they're kinda weak and don't have much meat on their bones. And that's why they only take one hit to kill and do very little damage to Grog. Second, and biggest, we have the big gnome. Big gnome has a butt ton of health, making them really hard to kill, and they also do a crap ton of damage, so don't get too close. But they're also a bit slow, so don't worry about them too much. Now, thirdly, we have the elite gnome. This is a real tough gnome that has a rifle and he'll always come with some buddies to mess you up. He's pretty darn quick and got a decent bit of health, so I'd watch out for him if I were you. Though, these gnomes only rock up in later stages of the match, so you'll be a bit more buff when you come across him. This goober is the kamikaze gnome. He just wants to cause a little chaos. He isn't too fast, but he has a pretty sizable pool of health, and if he comes anywhere near your base, well, don't let him do that is what I'll say. Finally, we have the super gnome. This guy is kind of a boss gnome that will only spawn a couple times in a match, but is a very tough time if you ever face him. I'm still working on him, so you might catch some more info about him later. Now, something that was severely missing from the last devlog was audio. So I got good friend and wonderful musician HJ Gould to work on it, because, well, I know jack shit about audio.
Hi, I'm HJ Gould, and I'm doing the sound effects, music, and voice acting for Milky Burger's new game, Primitive Protection. Here are a few of the sounds that I've done already for the game. The music that I'll create for the game will go for a sort of cartoony style to make the environments feel a bit more upbeat and unique to fit the mood of the game. So that's what I got so far. I'll hand it over to Milky Burger so we can talk about how he's using these sounds in the game.
And once I received them, I got to implement them. Anyways, HJ right now is working on more stuff for the game, which I'll be adding soon. The next thing that I figured I needed was a basic tutorial system. Now, I get that tutorials are boring, so I wanted to make this optional and very quick. Basically, I'm using the map from the last video and putting this guy called Future Grog in. Future Grog is, well, from the future, and he guides the player on what to do. I added caveman sounds whilst he's talking, and a little typewriter effect that goes over his head, which was from this cool typewriter plugin I found on the Unreal Engine Marketplace. Alright, so we've done so much work on this game, but you don't know much about me, and what I'm trying to do here. So my ultimate goal is to run a fully fledged game studio. That studio being Milky Games. And this is my first forte into the games industry. I'm only 15, but I do have a plan to achieve my dream. First, I'm going to release this game and maybe give a little bit of a name to Milky Games. Then I'm going to focus on the YouTube channel a bunch throughout the rest of high school, just making like quick games and doing other sorts of things. I have a really good mini series that I'm working on related to VR coming out soon. And then next year, I'm going to do a certificate free in game design to get a feel for the industry and whether I actually want to do this. Then I'm going to head over to uni and study game design. And whilst I'm in uni, I'm going to try and construct an elite team of artists, developers, and game designers. And from there on, me and this team will make games to earn profit and grow our studio. Sounds ambitious, but I'm an ambitious person. This project receives support from the Australian Alopecia Areata Foundation, Alopecia areata, totalis, and universalis are all autoimmune conditions causing hair loss. I personally grapple with alopecia areata, and it's often isolating as few truly understand the experience. Thankfully, the AAAF exists precisely for this reason. The AAAF organizes annual camps, all of which I've attended over the past 3 years, and they've been incredibly valuable. If you're in Australia and have alopecia, you can join the registry at aaf.org.au. Even if you don't have alopecia, it's worthwhile to visit aaf.org.au to learn more about this course. Now, let's get back to the game. I made this little UI for whenever the player dies, and have also been working on a revive system. And I've gotten it so close to working so many times, but it always messes up somehow. So I'm going to work on the system a little more before I can say that I've actually finished. I also built a new level, which I covered in a YouTube short, so I won't talk about it too much here. But basically, it's a snowy mountain level with 2 peaks. One where the players spawn, and one where the hordes of gnomes spawn. As the gnomes crawl towards the players waiting for the gnomes build their base on their own peak to protect their orb. The level took about 6 hours to make, and I'm pretty darn happy with it. I've got some snowy trees, some snowy rocks, and I added some snowy particle effects. Next, I made some new models for the building plugin that I purchased. I made walls, foundations, windows, and walls with door holes. But I needed some plain stairs, and I couldn't figure out how to get them working, so that kind of halted my process. I'll probably have to do a lot of fandangling to get a completely new stair model into the plugin and working. So what I think I'm going to do instead is I'll probably just reskin the existing staircase model in the plugin. Something I haven't told you guys yet about this game is that there is going to be a PvP mode. I'm kind of only doing this because it's easy. I've already got the system for PvP built in, so I figured why not add it into the game? Though I do want to do something a little different than just PvP, so I've concocted something else. Basically, I've created a map where there are 2 castles and a cannon in each castle. There are charging orbs in each castle, and the player who destroys the other team's charging orb first is the winner. The cannonballs used as ammo are found in the middle of the battlefield, so players are going to need to fight over them so that they can destroy each other's castles to access the charging orbs inside. I know this makes absolutely no sense at all, but I think it might be a fun concept. And I adore destruction in video games, so I really wanted to add this. Never mind, it both didn't work and wasn't fun, but I'll talk more about that in the next video of the game. Say hi to some of my friends. That's Grog, that's Grog, that's Grog, and that should be Grog. Basically, this lobby just has a hosting feature, a create lobby feature, join lobby feature, join server feature, and you can also make your own profile type thing. The profile thing was a little finicky, but you should be able to pick a username and a little image, and then that'll show up as your profile when you join a server or make a server or whatnot. The servers have a thing where you can choose the map, choose the amount of players, choose whether you want there to be a waiting period, choose the max amount of players. I bought it from the Unreal Engine Marketplace, and it works pretty well. It's just plug and play type thing. I was never going to do any of the lobby stuff myself. I'm not a network programmer. But yeah, we've also got integration with Steam now, so when you boot up, you have the little Steam icon pop. And also, I think I got it working, Discord integration. So basically when you play the game, it'll pop up on Discord that you're playing the game. I did buy a $15 plugin for that. I'm not sure whether it was worth it. But it is cool now that people can see that I'm playing my own game, which I think is cool. Grogs, say bye, guys. What's up, Grog? Now, something that I just wanted to shoehorn in here was that I have a mailing list. It's for game developers or non-game developers, really just anyone who wants to know more about game development and hear about stuff that I'm doing. If you head to the description and sign up to the mailing list, you'll get emails maybe once or twice a month with either advice or updates on my own personal projects, or maybe even some early access keys. So if you want to do that, I would be very grateful, and I promise I will not spam you. I'll only send you things that I think myself are valuable. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this, and comment down below what I should add next. Bye bye!